She's a neuroscientist turned best-selling author and is behind the book Still Alice. Lisa Genova has a unique talent to combine her medical knowledge with fiction, and it's on display again in her latest book. Left Neglected is a fictional account of a very real medical condition where the brain forgets about the left side of the body. Right now, Lisa's in our studio, and thank you very much. Congratulations on the book, Left Neglected.
Thank you.
So where was your inspiration to write about a brain injury, or at least incorporate it into your story, that most people hadn't ever even heard of?
Right. So unlike Alzheimer's, most people haven't heard of left neglect. I heard about it because I was training as a neuroscientist for years and years, and I would keep coming across little stories about 3 pages long or 1 page long, usually about someone in a doctor's office who no longer was aware of anything on the left side of anything, including the left side of them. So someone would be asked to draw a clock and would only draw the numbers 12 through 6 and think they finished the clock. Or they'd be asked to circle all the letter A's on a page and would only circle the ones on the right side.
And their perception is that that's complete.
Right, so to them, they're unaware of their unawareness. Nothing is missing to them. So if you're a woman, you'd only put makeup on the right side of your face and think you're done. If you're a man or a woman, you dress the right side of your body and completely forget about your left leg and left arm.
But your left leg and left arm in left neglect still is mobile.
Right, so you're not paralyzed and you're not blind. Your brain receives the information and can give the information to your arm and your leg. But the part of your brain responsible for paying attention, for being aware, is broken.
Wow. So in the story, the character Sarah is running a crazy life, 3 kids, one of them hyperactive. She's almost out of control, on the edge of being out of control because her life is so busy. She gets in a car accident because she's looking for a phone number on her cell phone and wakes up, and this has happened to her.
Right.
She's got left neglect.
Yeah.
And then it almost brings to a screeching halt. In fact, one review said her life is so busy, her family life is so busy, that when she gets in this car accident and everything comes to a screeching halt, the reader almost wants to feel like, oh, thank goodness, it stopped for a bit.
Right. So here's this condition that's sort of a pathological, clinical inattention. But it's really sort of a metaphor, if you think about it, for how we live our lives today. I mean, think about us, as a culture, we're so busy. And we sort of wear being busy as like a badge of honor, right? We're multitasking all the time. We're doing 5 things at once. We're spread so thin trying to be it all, have it all, do it all. When your attention is spread that thin, what are you missing out on?
Yeah.
So it's sort of, she's living this hectic, crazy, multitask, many-hour life, and when that stops, there's sort of a sense of relief, like, okay, now what can you pay attention to now that it's all sort of ended and you can pay attention to one thing at a time?
How do you get the inspiration to write a story like this? And we've talked about the medical side of it, but in your own life, and a neuroscientist and a Harvard grad, and all of these things that go on, and you've got 3 children. Yeah. So you've got all these different literally careers on the go, and you kind of pop out a couple of bestsellers.
Well, my life is simplified a bit. I could have been a lot like Sarah. I used to work at a consulting firm similar to her when I did work for biotech and pharmaceutical companies.
So there's a little bit of you in there.
There is a little, of course. But I didn't go that road. I quit that job when my 10-year-old daughter was born, and I've since moved to Cape Cod, which is a very relaxing place to be. And I spend my time writing books and taking care of my kids. So.
And the first book was Alice. Still Alice, about Alzheimer's, and because you had, I think your grandmother...
My grandmother had Alzheimer's.
Developed Alzheimer's, and you wrote this book, and nobody wanted to publish it, so you went ahead and did it on your own, and it became a bestseller. And then now you've got this book out here. Before we leave the conversation on left neglect, is it something that people can have hope that they might get over one day?
Sure. So it's recovering from a traumatic brain injury. We don't understand a lot about it, but the brain can heal. There's inflammation that occurs. There's a lot of damage that's been sustained in an injury like that, either following a stroke, a hemorrhage, or a traumatic brain injury is when you see left neglect. So patients can recover spontaneously within a couple weeks, a few months, up to a year is when you really hope to see the most improvement. But beyond that, patients can live with it indefinitely and learn to cope and adapt and sort of incorporate it into their lives.
Lisa, thank you so much for coming in and talking about the book with us, and congratulations.
Thank you.